How's it going, you guys? So, I've been getting a lot of questions about what type of tonic herbs I've been taking recently. And, the crazy thing is, ever since I started a ketogenic diet, I started to notice my energy, my health, my well being, my strength, my sleep, my mood, my cognition. Everything has been just where I want it to be. Everything has been so great. I've just been feeling so good ever since I started eating a ketogenic diet, particularly with much more animal protein. And I haven't really felt the need for tonic herbs lately. Now, I have been taking on and off, like for a couple of weeks on. I was taking Mucuna prurens, particularly the product Mucuna dopa by Now Foods, and I was also taking ginkgo biloba in tincture form, and I was taking about 2 dropperfuls every single day, and that was it. Um, I I felt really good taking those, and I noticed some significant benefits. But I've taken those many times in the past, long before starting a ketogenic diet. And I will say, the ginkgo biloba seems to make it much easier for me to control my focus and for me to control my habits. I notice creating new behavioral patterns and removing old like bad habits is much easier taking ginkgo biloba, and that probably has to do with its ability to inhibit the breakdown of acetylcholine. And also, I feel like it tends to help regulate dopamine receptors, which obviously means your habits, your behavioral patterns, and motivation pathways are going to be much healthier. Okay? To break it down, make it simpler for you all. And obviously, Mucuna prurens uh, works with dopamine in the same way. However, I really wanted to see just how powerful the ketogenic diet is without any kind of herbs and supplements. And so I made it a point to remove most herbs and supplements from my routine. And so what I noticed is I could literally, and this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but I could literally just eat red meat and butter and coconut oil with coffee in the morning, obviously, and sour cream, and feel amazing and have like just perfect well being. Almost like I feel almost like I'm taking tonic herbs. Just being in a state of ketosis with adequate protein. 1 gram per pound of body weight or more every single day. And I feel so great that I don't even need tonic herbs. Now, typically, tonic herbs are meant as the finishing touch. So, like, when you already are healthy, you use tonic herbs to build even more health and more longevity and build well being. It's not meant to recover from illness, although they can help prevent illness and recover from them as well. But it's more of a polishing act rather than the basic foundation. And so when I'm eating this ketogenic diet, predominantly red meat, butter, and coconut oil, really, I feel so perfect. I don't need anything extra. And one thing I used holy basil and ashwagandha for in the past, and I've talked about it in videos and written articles on it, is for insomnia. Because for you know how long, like 10 years of my life, I was on heavy antipsychotic medications that made me sleep, and I was basically a zombie, and I'd sleep forever, and it caused me severe sleep issues and many other problems as well. And so ever since I got off that medication, which was goddamn like 8 years ago, I was like 20. It was back in like 2012. I had trouble sleeping, and so I started taking holy basil and ashwagandha, and sometimes passion flower and things like that to help me go to sleep. And none of that, and I mean that stuff helped, but none of it helped nearly as much as going on a ketogenic diet. Going on a ketogenic diet completely removed my insomnia. It was incredible. And, I think the reason why is because, I mean, most of the herbs I was taking were, especially for insomnia, had to do with upregulation of GABA. Theanine, holy basil, ashwagandha. These are all very powerful GABA agonists. Now, what's interesting is the ketogenic diet is actually used to upregulate GABA, and that's one of the reasons why it's been used therapeutically in patients that have epilepsy, because epilepsy is caused by excessive glutamate stimulation, and GABA downregulates the glutamate. So direct antagonists and ketogenic diets upregulate GABA and downregulate glutamate, which by nature would reduce the instances of seizures. Conversely, many people use it for depression, for anxiety, and I myself have noticed my mood is just amazing on a ketogenic diet. It's incredible. And that's one of the main reasons I ever started using tonic herbs, was to calm down my mood, or to reduce anxiety and things like that. So anyway, am I against tonic herbs? Obviously not. I mean, I've been using tonic herbs since, for a long time, since 2013 really, but I only started to get serious about it in 2014. And I still think that they're extremely beneficial, even when your diet is making you feel perfect. Knowing that I can survive just on like ground beef every single day is pretty awesome. But I will say, I am going to be combining, because if my diet's perfect, tonic herbs can only make it even better, you would think. And ginkgo biloba tends to be a useful tool on and off, which I have been using. Now, obviously, I drink bulletproof coffee, pretty much every morning, but there are times where I don't. And what that consists of is coffee, and sometimes I will I'll throw some yerba mate in there, 2 tablespoons with 2 tablespoons of bulletproof coffee beans. Mix it up with some MCT oil or some coconut oil, and I'll use some whey protein, I'll use collagen protein, obviously butter. And then, sometimes I'll throw in some cacao, some raw cacao. And cacao I would definitely consider it a tonic herb. It makes me, if I consider it an adaptogen, and I consider it an amazing complement to Mucuna pruriens, and it makes me feel so amazing. I think cacao is one of my favorites, actually, and I haven't been using it for long as of lately. I've been using it for a couple weeks on, a couple weeks off the past couple months, and I've noticed, a significant improvement in my overall mood and approach to life taking cacao. And so I think cacao is amazing, especially along with bulletproof coffee. It's one of my favorites. But overall, I've significantly reduced the amount of tonic herbs and supplements I'm taking. I don't see any purpose for vitamin or mineral supplements anymore. Actually, mineral supplements, I take that back. I think magnesium is great. But I think most people, the only reason why their vitamin and mineral requirements are so high is because of the vast amounts of carbohydrates and inflammatory foods they eat. And there's a reason why most carbohydrate rich foods contain a large amount of minerals and certain vitamins and things. It's because in order to metabolize those foods, you must have adequate amounts of certain vitamins and minerals. And I think that plants are intelligent in that way, that they actually contain the very nutrients that are required to metabolize them. But when you reduce your amount of carbohydrate foods, you don't need as much vitamin C, vitamin B6. If you look up the functioning of these nutrients, their main function has to do with the conversion of carbohydrates into energy. So without carbohydrates, you're not using as much of these nutrients, and so vitamin and mineral supplements tend to be pretty useless. Anyway, I significantly reduced my herbs and supplements because ketogenic diet makes me feel amazing. Let me know what you all think about everything. I'll be making more videos I'll be doing more experiments with tonic herbs in the future.